these chisels are not going back to Timbecon. No, I'm buying them. They're staying right here. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Hello and welcome to my workshop. My name is Gary Rizzolo. I'm a guitar maker. Timbecon have just brought in a special batch of amazing chisels and I want to show them to you today. These chisels are absolutely amazing. Let me show you in a bit more detail what we have. Let's open up the box. Now traditionally I have a little bit of trouble with some packaging, but this one's not too bad. I'll just slip the thing open. There we go, look at that, handy tool. And slide out the units. And let's have a look here. It's a beautiful box. The packaging is actually quite superb. There's something very nice about good packaging and good presentation, isn't there? Narex, lovely little box. We'll put it down and we'll open it up. Feast your eyes upon this. That is spectacular. What a presentation. They look absolutely fantastic. Now, obviously there's more to a chisel than how it looks. However, when you take one of these chisels out and hold it in your hand, there is something very special going on. The handles are made of ash and they're so comfortable. The chisel themselves, they're just ground and polished to perfection. And there is a reason for this. They've used a very special steel in these chisels. They've used a mix of steel called chrome vanadium. And that adds to this beautiful finish. And we want a chisel to not only look good and feel good, we want it to cut and to work like a chisel should. And I think we'll find that these chisels will stand up to the test. So as I mentioned, they're made from chrome vanadium steel, but also what's extra special about this is that they have been cryogenically treated. You're asking the question, aren't you? What on earth is cryogenically treated? They take the steel from this chisel, for example, they put it in liquid nitrogen and they drop the temperature down to about minus 160 degrees centigrade, and they leave it there for quite a while, and then they bring it back up to temperature. They actually heat it up so it's re-tempered, the steel, and then you have a chisel that's been cryogenically treated. The advantages are that the grain in the steel becomes finer and more aligned. The steel becomes better because when you sharpen and grind your chisel, if the metal is coarse, the grain in the metal is coarse, it's like 80 grit sandpaper, and you're always going to get that 80 grit sharpened edge. If the grain in the metal is really fine, like 400 grit, then obviously when you hone that chisel, grind and hone it, you get a finer, sharper edge. So the cryogenic process for these beautiful chisels increases the strength and hardness of the chisel. So therefore you can get a really perfect edge and you can achieve surgical cutting of wood. And that's what these look like, surgical instruments. But they are tough chisels. They have a leather washer here which will take a little bit of shock, so you can give them a bit of a knock. You can cut a mortise joint and without any problem, or you can pare wood very, very delicately. As a guitar maker, I need very accurate cutting implements, and so I use very sharp chisels for my accurate work, and these chisels fit the bill. Let me show you, just for a way of demonstration. This is a little piece of leather. Now, if any of you have ever worked leather, you'll notice that you need very sharp tools to cut leather. Now let's just slice a little piece off the edge of this. Look at that. That's cutting, just huge. It's just so sharp. It's amazing. Let me also show you what it's like on a piece of wood, just paring lightly a little piece of wood. Look at the shaving that's coming off there. Just gorgeous. They are so sharp. This is surgical. Perfect. Let me show you how I use a good sharp chisel a lot of the time. It's doing miters in the binding and purfling of my guitars. And to set up a cut, first of all, the back of the chisel needs to be very mirror-like in its finish, because we use the reflection to set the angle. So, and then you can make a cut, and honestly, these are just slicing this veneer beautifully. On the mitered edge, I can set up the chisel to reflect the angle of 45 degrees, so when I see 90 degrees in there, I can then make the cut. These chisels aren't cheap, of course. However, these are probably some of the best made chisels I've had my hands on, and I have had some expensive chisels come through this workshop. The attention to detail is fantastic, and that's why you would buy a chisel like this. The cryogenically treated steel gives you a perfectly honed sharp edge that you can continue to grind and hone yourself to set up as you see fit, and then you have a fantastic tool that will last you for your whole life. So ladies and gentlemen, for more information, click on the links below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Gary Rizzolo for TimberCon. Thank you very much for watching.